Now, last week I had a session with my mentor. Oh, by the way, I do have mentor. So, this guy is honestly a millionaire and he's quite an old individual. I don't know why I do have an affinity with old guys. Most of my friends actually are old people, and this guy is actually, I borrow a lot from this guy. Well, up to date, he has never allowed me to share his identity and what have you. But anyway, one day when he's at peace and he tells me, hey, Joseph, you can put me on your videos, no problem. I'll bring that guy here. And he's my mentor. I do borrow a lot from this guy and we share a lot. So last week we had a session, and these are the things that he told me as far as the investment growth and moving to the next level are concerned. Before I even share with you, listen, from wherever you are, I have two mentors. One mentor is actually a guy whom I can visit physically and you can have the session. The other one is actually an online guy. I've never met him and he doesn't even know me, by the way, for your information, but I know him anyway. But that's not an issue. Now the question is, find somebody whom you can actually borrow a lot from him. Check an individual. And remember one thing, I gave you an idea, guys. Do you see that guy whom you admire a lot as far as the investments are concerned? He has something that you admire. Go buy them a lunch. Food is very spiritual than it is physical. Very true. Just look for some few coins, take that guy or a girl to that individual's up or dinner or lunch or breakfast or whatever the thing it is. Just go buy them. It will cost you, yes. But let me tell you one thing. The moment somebody puts money or food in the mouth, or rather in the stomach, they share a lot with you. Take them somewhere, get the information, and that's how you befriend yourself with these people so that they can share a lot and take time, but never ever outshine your master. Anyway, this is the story. But for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to share this information with you, and I want it to be more productive, not only to me, but also to you, but to us. And this is how you do it. You give me the like, you make sure that you follow me so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video. Make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel and you leave me a comment on the comment section. All right, let's go to the business now. Here we are. See, I had this session with this guy, and this is what he told me. The very first thing he told me was this. You see, is that invest. It was quite tricky. Invest until you're broke. Until you broke. And I want you to explain this point on the comment section. What do you understand by this term? Because it was a bit confusing to me. Invest until you broke, especially when you're starting. By the way, do you know that you need to spend for you to invest? But now the question is, okay, for what reasons or purposes do you spend your money for? You spend to consume or do you spend to invest? By the way, there is nothing wrong being a spender. That's what he told me. There is nothing wrong being a spender, but you can spend to invest. So you literally don't have the money as of now, but the money, the seed capital is actually on the move. So he told me, invest until you broke. And I was like, sir, if you don't mind, would you mind, sort of explain further, expound, elucidate? And he told me, see, when I say spend or invest until you're broke, I simply mean that money that you have, keep on pumping in, pump in. If it brings something, keep on pumping that money in that you have, okay? You put it on the go because money is energy. And if you extract it out of the system, it withers and dies. So what you do, pump in that cash that you have until you don't have that liquid cash. See, when you have that liquid cash, I've ever heard of people who usually they have this idle money, and when they have the idle money, they tend to spend that money in areas which are not purposeful. So what happens is that deny yourself, especially if you have a problem with money, deny yourself accessibility of this idle cash, channel that money towards investments. Investment is when you actually create yourself structures that will bring you cash so that you can get the passive income out of it. So if you can focus on investing to a point whereby you even operate without the cash. Have you ever met some people who tell you, okay, how much do you need? 10,000. Wow, I may not have that 10,000 for now, but anyway, check me out maybe for the next week. I'll be able to get them. And then you're like, really? You don't have them, but you look bad. No, you invest until you're broke. Why? Because if you invest until you're broke, it's just a preliminary, it's just a period of time, then the money comes back to you. That is exactly how. But if you don't invest and you look wealthy and have the money and liquid cash and what have you, guess what happens now? You don't have the systems that are working for you. Now, invest until you broke. And that one, I got it from. And I said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna share this video with my guys there so that they get something at the end of the day. So invest until you're broke. We go to the next point that he shared with me. Do you know what he said? Don't invest into it if it's not into you. Yo, I'm telling you, those were heavy ones. Don't invest into it if it's not into you. I was like, what does that mean? Means, hey, you can come across anybody talking about anything. Hey, you know what? Crypto are the best. You can do this. I became a millionaire investing. You're like, oh my God, I think I'm missing out. I'm going to buy those cryptos. And then you'd be like, oh, guess what? Farming's the best. Planting onion is the best thing. You can be able to make $1 million within a month. And you're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to look for a shamba in a big. No. You don't do that. There is nothing wrong with investing. But the question is, don't invest into it if it is not into you. Don't. Until you understand. When I say into you, it means that you understand it. You can explain. You can explain. I had a friend of mine who started, and now when he explained this, I related. I had a friend of mine who started a very nice, for those who are Kenyans, they know where is Kileleshwa. This guy started a very nice barber shop and a beauty and whatever they think. Actually, he didn't start the beauty first, he started the barber shop. And I'm telling you, the guy used a lot of money. It was around 1.2 million, around there. And let me tell you one thing, the guy was having a hard time. Why? He didn't know how to do the shaving. He wasn't a barber himself. So he was employing the people who brought the skills to run the business. And then he can be able to get the money out of the skills that this guy. So he provides the place, the guy is coming and shave. Guy does not understand nothing. And I'm telling you one thing, the mistake that this guy did is that he let the employees know that he cannot do those skills. So now the employees know, oh, okay. Oh, so we are the heart of this business. Then you're going to dance our tune. And the moment they decide that, you open your business at 7 a.m., you have some appointments because, hey, nowadays most of the people shave under their appointments or go to the salon under their appointments. Say, I'm going to be there, what have you. You have some appointments. Guys have called you. There you are. Your guys have not even arrived. You call them. They excuse themselves. Hey, I'm caught up on the traffic and what have you. You got yourself into a business that you can even barely hold that machine and shave anybody. So people actually do not invest in that thing. I also had a case of a lady who started a salon. She doesn't even know how to plait hair and what have you. She employed some ladies to do the same thing. Then the ladies realized the ladies cannot be able to do that thing. Guess what happens now? They manipulate you because you do not understand that. And guess what happens? You're seeing this is your investment. Probably this is the only money that you have. This is 1 point something billion. It's going on the downtrain. Customers are getting out of the place because, hey, you make an appointment, you're not there, you babas, and you can just imagine the kind of a mess that you are in. If you want to get into the business, please gather as much information as you can. Understand it in and out. Sometimes I'll have to give people this example and maybe you can use it. If you want to start, say, a butchery business, go to people who do the butchery business. Donate yourself, quote unquote. Work in that particular place. Yeah, you have the money, but just be there. Spend a time with that guy. Know how they do the meat. Know how they do the thing. Know how they relate to the customers. Know where they get those products. Relate to those people. And invest on time. Don't just wake up because you have money in your pocket and then there is an open shop across the street, a vacant shop across the street. Then you ask how much would it cost to start a serious business. Boom. The next minute you bring the serious business, you know nothing. You don't even know. So what happens is that gather the information about that investment. I talk about treasury bills and treasury bond. Don't just say, hey, he said it's an amazing thing. I'm going to put my... Don't do that. Take your time. Understand what you're getting yourself into. What is it? How does it function? Oh, do I have anybody who has ever get into it? Oh, by the way, how does it work? Okay. Oh, I need to call this good Joseph so that he can explain to me. How does this MMF work? How does this treasury bills work? Oh, does he invest into it? How is it, by the way? When did it start? And all those kind of things. There are people who even buy shares of a given company that they don't even know who is the CEO of that given company. Yeah, that may not mean a big deal anyway, but the question is, you don't just get yourself into a company that you don't even know. Take your time. Just because everyone is talking about crypto, everyone is talking about the stocks, everyone is talking about the business. Take your time. Do not invest into it or do not put your money into it if it is not into you. Get it into you first, then give it the money. Come on. I really hope that message got into you. Get it into you first before you give it to your money. That's very sweet. Now, point number 3, and by the way, sir, I know you're watching this video and I'm so delighted. Point number 3, do you know what he told me? Trust the first gut. Trust the first gut. What does it mean? Have you ever been with yourself or by yourself somewhere and you're like, you know what? There is this business that brings all the time. I want to start this. That's the first gut that you have. The moment you want the instinct or the gut, trust that thought. Trust that gut. Go with it. Don't have these alternatives. Oh, you know what? Maybe let's say you want to start a cosmetic business, and then somebody be like, oh, I started mine and went down, all my money went. And fine, it's good to listen. You can ask, okay, what happens? But don't twist you. Trust the first gut. Do you know what I always tell people? By the way, if it is possible for you to start the businesses that you had an idea of, especially when you are broke, go ahead and start them. Yeah, just go ahead and start them. Because some people tend to claim that, when you do not have the money, you tend to have a lot of ideas, but the moment you get the money, the ideas go. Please, don't do exactly that. Take your time. Those businesses, those ideas that you have, go with it. For God's sake, there is something. For example, when I was making these videos, back then when I was doing this channel, I used to have like that particular force of which I associated with God, and I give God credit to all the greatness that He achieved to me. I used to feel like, no, this is like God talking to me. I feel like there is a certain force and something of sort. So trust that gut. Go with it. Go with it. If you identify an opportunity, go with it. Do not do what we call the analysis paralysis. Do not overanalyze some things. You'll never get all the factors correct before you starting a specific thing. If you get 70, 60, 70% thereabout, go ahead, get into it. You're going to get the 30 as you move along. Because the moment you start staying, for example, let's say you have identified an opportunity of starting a baby shop somewhere. Then you're like, oh, okay, the location is okay, oh, I realize, oh, wow, the supplier is there, but this landlords, you never get all the factors correct. Get into it, because by the time now you're waiting to get all the factors correct, that business is no longer an opportunity in that particular area. Why? Probably somebody else has already started it, or maybe something has changed or something. Treat that opportunity as of now. Go grab it, go with it, and move with it. Provided you do what we call the calculated moves, you're gonna get yourself into that specific thing. Do you get what I'm saying? Then let's go with the third one. The fourth one, rather. Do you know what he told me? What you have already, and I want you to get this one. This may be a bit tricky. What you have already is better than what you invest to get. What you have already is better than what you invest to get. We all invest to get a return out of that. But if you compare what you have now and what you're looking to get, you compare the two. What you have is far much better than what. Why? Does not mean, okay, and I want you to get this way. Let's say you have 1 million that you want to start a business with. Or say you want to invest this money. Let's say you want to invest this money in a treasury bond. Treasury bond that will be giving you, say, 15% per year. That means 75,000 after 6 months. Now, the question is, between the 75,000 that you'll get after the 6 month and the current 1 million that we have, what is better? Obviously, it's what you have. This money is already under your name. The 75,000 is prospective. Guess now what happens now? You're risking what you have, which is 1 million, to get this 75,000. And guess what most of the people do? They disregard that's what they have. They get motivated by what they want to get. And therefore you sell them the scam things and not realistic returns and what have you, because they are so much into this. They disregard this what they have. They look at what they're gonna stand to have. And by the time now they're waiting to get this one get off, they lose this. So you don't have this, and if you don't have this, then by default you don't have the other one. So you are lost, or you lose everything. So this one, in simple terms, it means that always get into a thing that ensures your capital preservation. Please don't lose the seed capital. This is the seed capital. This is what is taking you there. And if you lose this, then it means this is out of question. I was about to use a very simple example, but I don't know. It depends on who you ask. Back then there was and I'm saying this with a disclaimer. Back then when we used to be young, we used to joke like, let's say two people are drowning. You have your wife and a kid. Who would you save? Well, again, it depends depends on where you are in terms of your marriage. You know, maybe you feel like you want to divorce the next minute. Probably you say, hey, I'm gonna save my kid. Again, it depends. And that's why I'm saying it's a topic to be discussed. Maybe it's an awkward example, but well, there was this argument. Hey, I would save my wife because with the wife I can get the kid, but without the kid I can't get the wife. Well, somebody else may say, hey, I can save the kid because it's my blah blah blah. Okay, it depends. Assuming the first option was the correct one, you with your wife you can get the kids, you know. But it's the same case. I said it's a weird example, but you can just use what I'm telling you. So assume this is the wife, all right, and this whatever. Now the point is this: what you have or what you have is already important, or it is better compared to that what you invest to get. So at all the occasion when you have this at the back of your head, you will always make sure that you scrutinize where you're getting your money into. And I'm telling you, if you apply this formula, you're gonna have the best time when it comes to investment. And that is the reason why we say, hey, guess what? Always consider what is your affordable loss. Because what is investments? Investment is only two things. One, investing is actually buying a day that you don't have to work. Two, investing is actually what do we call? You know, it's simply making your money to grow. That's for the sure. Actually, I lost the second point. But the point should be make sure that you safeguard that what you have, and at the same time, of course, let it make you something. And if you can be able to preserve the seed capital, I'm telling you, you're going to have the best moment when it comes to investment. Now, guess what? That's what my 60-year-old mentor shared with me. And I'm telling you, that information is still fresh with me. And I believe that can as well be important to you. So consider those 4 points. Let's share what my mentor is giving me. And by the way, more is coming. And I'm hoping one day he will accept and we'll be able to appear on these videos of mine and he can be able to share something with you. So for now, it's a goodbye. But never forget, I do have booklets about investments where you can learn anything and everything, stretching all the way from money market fund, bills, bonds, whatever, for only 280 Kenyan shillings a copy. My number is on the description of this specific video. Grab that number. Let's talk business. For now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one.